Hello, I'm Dick.
And I'm Eric, and we're the Annuity Guys.
Eric, today we really want to talk about maximizing income with fixed index annuities. I know sometimes folks will refer to those as hybrid annuities, but the calls we get regularly,
and people typically tune into the, hey, I want the best annuity. And it's really trying to focus on, hey, give me the one that's the best. Don't talk to me about the other one, just give me the best one. The problem we get back to is there's usually not just one best annuity.
Exactly. There's not the silver bullet, the perfect annuity for all growth and all income. And so this is where it really gets into knowing the annuities, first of all, and then a real planning process that involves a lot of math to put them together and make sure that it works for the individual need.
Exactly. We're fans of saying, it's always about the planning process and really trying to figure out what's going to work for you, and then what's going to work from an individual standpoint to meet that income gap usually.
Exactly.
You've got pensions, you've got Social Security.
Right.
What's left over that you need to solve for that really makes a fixed indexed annuity meet the purpose of what you're looking to achieve?
Well, and when you start getting into fixed index annuities, unfortunately, it's not just a simple category with a few annuities to choose from. I mean, we literally have thousands of fixed index annuities. And what everyone really wants to do is simplify the process. Isn't there just one best, or
just give me the one,
or
send me the
3 or 4 or 5, 6 that rise to the top? And truthfully, there really are normally 5 or 6 or 8 annuities that rise to the top, but they're different for each individual.
Yeah.
And that makes it a lot more complex.
Right. It's usually about the individual circumstance. So when we start planning for an individual, it's looking at how old are you? What's the guarantees? What are we looking to achieve? Where the payout rates come into play? And most people get hung up on 1 or 2 numbers.
Right.
The what's the bonus? 10, 20, 30%?
Well, the one the other guy showed me, it had this roll-up that was like 2% higher.
Yeah.
And so folks get so confused with this because the annuity companies aren't dumb. They want to kind of lock you in on some minor point that seems major, but they're not going to tell you the net effect.
Right. They're not going to, unfortunately, they don't just say, here's what the cash number is going to be for you. So focus in on this number. What they like to do is say, hey, look over here. Here's the sizzle to 10%. I can give you 10% every year.
Yeah.
Small print, simple interest.
Simple interest, right.
And your payout rate is really going to be poor. So at the end of it, you would actually get more money by doing something different.
Oh yes, getting one without a bonus and with a lower percentage, or this or that. And
so it's trying to focus on the cash.
Right.
Solving for when you're going to need the money, when you're going to take it out.
Yes.
What's the highest dollar amount for the least amount of input? And that's what we're trying to solve for many people.
Right, exactly. And to do that, Eric, it really, in some ways, it is simple math. And we talk a lot about the net effect. And the reason we talk about that is because that takes all of the factors into account on that particular annuity. And it says you will get XYZ at this point in time. And I can compare that to annuity B or C or D and say with these annuities at that same point in time, you'll get XYZ. So we never want to focus, with our clients on does it have the bigger bonus, does it have this payout, that payout. It's what's the net effect.
What's the cash to you at this date when you want to start retirement income. And now we should talk about the fact that when you're working with a fixed indexed annuity, there are certain things they do well and certain things not as well.
That's true.
A lot of people will say, well, I'm going to retire tomorrow. Give me the best fixed indexed annuity.
There's very few.
The limit, all of a sudden when you say, I want to start income now, the choices go from this to this. They really shrink down if you're looking to start income right away. Now, doesn't mean there aren't other options out there. There are immediate annuities. There are some fixed indexed annuities that do allow you to start immediately. But it's really balancing and making sure from a math perspective it makes sense to do that.
Sometimes it's better, Eric, to just simply use your own money early on and let the fixed index annuity defer. But again, this is part of a true planning process where you're not just selling somebody an annuity, but you're structuring multiple outcomes, which we call outcome-based planning, so that folks can actually see, well, if we put it together this way, this is what's going to happen. If we put it together that way, this is what's going to happen. And folks can make an intelligent decision without necessarily just being persuaded by, I hate to say it, but the best annuity salesperson.
Right. What you want is building a portfolio, and the portfolio incorporates maybe one annuity, Or it may be a whole segment of annuities that you start with one piece, and then you have a laddered effect where one with an income rider that guarantees this much income after 5 years or after 10 years. By building out that system and really kind of putting those pieces in place, you can structure guaranteed income for conceivably your entire lifetime.
Exactly. And right now it's probably more crucial than ever with all of the annuities and all of the advances, because every company out there right now is competing for the most creative and innovative ways, and these income riders are all over the place in terms of their guarantees. So it really takes someone that's very familiar with them to interweave them, lock them together and make sure that they're laddered properly to give you that diversification and that income out over that extended length of time.
Yeah, so when it comes down to it, you define the outcome you want, and it's up to a quality planner to help you put the pieces in place, incorporate fixed index annuities if appropriate. Into that plan.
And Eric, there's a lot of folks, and I think we should talk in terms of folks who have lesser amounts of money and folks who have larger amounts of money. So if we talk about the person who has maybe in the neighborhood of somewhere between 150, 100,000, 150 that they want in annuities up to maybe 300,000, they're not going to do things the same way as someone that has 300,000 to 3 million. There's going to be a much different strategy. The person with lesser money will probably not need to divide it up as much, may not need to ladder it as much, and the person that has more money, that has more flexibility, there's a lot of reasons to structure it way different.
Right, and it's looking again, focusing on the outcomes. Regardless of the amount of money, it's what do you want to happen, and how do we make that happen for you at the right time, in the right place. It all has to make sense, though.
Exactly. Another concern that we run into a lot is folks that want income and growth. Because,
and a lot of times the problem isn't wanting both, the problem is wanting both in one product.
Exactly.
You can have income and have growth, but notice how we do income and growth, not income and growth.
Well, and our video today is really about maximizing income, but that doesn't negate the fact that a lot of folks go to annuities for some type of safety in growth.
Yeah. You can have a growth annuity.
Exactly.
That can be part of the plan. And for people that are looking to incorporate safe growth in today's world, an indexed annuity actually does fit for that portion of the puzzle.
Correct.
But many times it won't have that sizzle component or that income rider because it doesn't make sense for the growth component.
Well, exactly. It'll be a different annuity. It'll be an annuity that isn't necessarily set up for a rider or an income rider. Yeah. And so I think that, folks, again, like we started off, our session today, there is not that silver bullet, that one annuity that does it all best. Usually, in almost all cases, there are annuities that are built better for income and certain types of income, and annuities that are built for growth. And so when we get back to maximizing fixed index annuities for income, what are some of, just summarizing, Eric, what are the key factors people should be looking for?
Well, the key factors are defining your target, making sure you know what you want to achieve, when you want to achieve it, and figuring out, can we do this with the best sort of guarantees possible and still leave you in control? And if that's the case, or the case rather,
yes,
a fixed index annuity might be part of the solution for you.
I agree.